It's here. It's finally here. I'm actually a few hours late to this, but it's here, and I am very muchly ready to check out the very first brand new. It's not even a teaser at this point. It's actual full on match gameplay deep dive. WWE 2K22 Ringside Report #1. So it is a gameplay deep dive. We're seeing a full match. You're seeing all the camera angles, how this gameplay is going to, or how the combat system is going to hit different. So we'll see if it really lines up to with what WWE 2K Games is been, marketing and pushing towards us. I'm really hoping this holds up. I'm going to pick it up either which way anyways, because I am just a massive fan of WWE games, but you get the itch and you want to jump in that virtual ring and you want to hold a championship. You want to go on, the pay-per-view matches and do the Hell in the Cells and the TLCs and the wrist locks and the headlocks, and you want to do it all. So, yeah, and high flying too. We can't forget the luchador stuff. Rey Mysterio on the front cover of this game. So, yeah. I'm really hoping that this holds up though. And what I wanted to say just before we get into this is that hopefully we get a whole other, all the memes that we saw about 2K20. Hopefully this shifts the tide and everybody it goes like, whoa, this is as good as the old school games and everything. It is simulation, but I feel like they're going a little more arcadey with it. So hopefully it bridges the gap between both. Hopefully everybody is enjoying this gameplay. We'll see by the end of this whether or not I'm just going to go with the regular edition or if I'm going to go all out with that big old NWO edition. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyways, so let's jump into it. I'm a bit nervous because it's been so long since we've actually had a review and release and everything. Here we go. My volume's up? Yes.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Lionel Jinx. I am the creative director of the WWE 2K franchise. And this time, I'm not alone, y'all. I've got my homie with me. She is going to be with me along this journey, this ride. Christina, please introduce yourself.
Hey y'all, I am Christina DM Pham, art producer on WWE 2K22, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Ringside Report, brought to y'all by the teams at 2K and Visual Concepts.
We're here to provide regular updates and deep.
It is real quick, just from like the game developer, behind the scenes of what I know about all this stuff. So it's the creative director, of course. You would think because it's a gameplay deep dive that we'd have like one of the lead producers, other than like the art producer. Like this is one of the lead producers, but the art producer is the one that does all the graphics and the let's see, they're like costumes, graphics, it's facial capture and all that stuff. That's what her job would be more around. So I'm interested in the reason why they don't have like the lead programmers.
Dives into the many areas and features of WWE 2K22.
And this year we're introducing the WWE 2K22 Ringside Reports.
Boy, this looks good,
you'll hear
man.
From Lionel and
graphics
myself,
wise, it looks great.
Beginning now, through the game's launch in March, and after for the
say that
latest
in all of
on
them, though.
DLC, patches, and other updates. And we're not
Hogan.
gonna be taking this ride alone because we're bringing the homies from the dev team with us. So
come on, bring them on.
Oh,
but
never mind. I should just shut my mouth and know my role because the dev team is coming through.
Because let's be real, if y'all take a look at WWE 2K22, you might see some massive differences from previous cycles.
Yeah, like Edge's
And
face is
This
just.
is the best looking game.
Whoa.
Just a
It's
little
pretty.
bit.
It's so pretty.
Lionel, can you talk about how the teams approach production differently this time around, starting with the superstars?
So the superstars, in any
Jeez.
WWE game are the backbone of the game, right? And so we have to make sure that we are doing our absolute
Goddamn
best
Rollins.
on representing every superstar to the best of our abilities. And in order for us to do that,
You can't blink
we
in
piggyback
this. I
on
almost
the
missed
same
Undertaker in
technology
there.
that you guys saw in NBA 2K 22, where you look at their players,
Higher quality
and the
cameras.
details, and just the likenesses look amazing. And so we shared that same technology and brought that into WWE 2K22, like the cross polarization scans, improved hair. Just to me, the amazing amount of detail that you'll see in our superstars is unparalleled for us.
Yeah, and also the teams
I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep pausing this, but damn, my brain was like, oh, I'm watching real foot. No. Like my brain tried to shift into, I'm watching real foot. No, this is actually in-game graphic. Holy shit. Damn, good job. Wow. Damn.
Have overhauled lighting
Sorry, I don't mean to keep
engine, and
pausing.
there's an all-new VFX
Wow.
engine as well.
Yeah,
That actually looked really good.
Lighting is everything, right? So like
Yes.
all these details and everything that we poured into our superstars wouldn't mean anything if they weren't lit properly, right? And so
They gotta be lit.
You know, take a look at this version of the game compared to any other year.
That's a
like,
cool looking
it looks
outfit.
like a broadcast. It looks photorealistic at times, and a lot of that is due to lighting.
And before I forget, there's also a ton of
Whoa,
new
wait,
and
wait, 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 wait,
improved
wait, wait,
championships
wait.
as well. And before I forget, there's also
Wait. Hold on.
And before I forget, there's
Okay, the audio was a slight bit desynced on that capture, but that was the era where I started nerding out on wrestling stuff. Seeing that just gave me a little bit of goose. I'm not trying to like, be huge hyper, like every other YouTuber out there, but that actually did. That's the reason why that looker came across my face, because it was just like, holy shit, I haven't seen this in so long. Of just like, yeah, this is cool. This is really cool.
there's also a ton of new and improved championships as well. And
I do like the new
one of my
United States
personal favorites,
Championship. I think it looks
mainly
pretty cool.
because it's the team I work with most closely is the
Yes.
environments team.
Okay,
There are
all
over
right.
55 playable arenas, and we also have virtual crowd boards in the game
Oh,
as
shit.
well. So you might see some familiar faces.
Oh yeah,
Cameos,
not
nice.
my ugly mug.
Can you import
All
your
right,
own?
we know what
That'd
y'all
be
been
really
waiting
cool.
for, so we have some folks in the waiting room. I'm gonna go ahead and invite all of them in. So, y'all, we're so excited today because y'all know who we got. Please welcome the gameplay leadership team, principal designer Jason
Good.
senior designer Derek Donahue, and senior producer Jonathan Rivera. Y'all,
Nice.
this is extremely
this is
exciting.
who I want to
and
be hearing
thank you
from.
so much
Actually,
for joining us
it's like
for the
no
first
joke.
episode of Ringside
This is-
Report. Okay, so I don't want to.
I want to hear their takes
any
on,
longer because
what's
folks
the
have been
feel of
asking for
the
gameplay for a
combat?
very,
What's the
very
flow of the
long time.
combat?
Without further
What's all the different
ado,
options you
the
can do
moment
and
y'all been
everything?
waiting for, we are going to show you a 1v1 match between Rey Mysterio and Damian Priest. So let's roll the footage.
So at this point, one of the things we very intentionally called out to our fan base is that we have a redesigned gameplay experience. And starting with Jason, can you talk about what that means to you? And
Before he starts talking, already I can tell you right now that camera is in a very different spot. So usually the ring's here, the camera's right about here, right? So ring's here, camera's about right here, looking downwards. Yeah, do it that way. This one, camera's like over here, so it feels more like, where you'd have the crowd right here and the camera is back here zoomed in, because usually in the real thing, what you can't see behind the camera is that's the production booth up there. You'll see it if you check out matches where they start fighting in the crowd. You'll see them sometimes walk up. Not Royal Rumble. One of the recent pay-per-views, the Usos jumped in, helped out Roman Reigns. Roman was fighting somebody, and they went up into the booth. Was it Kevin Owens or something? It was one. I think it was last year's pay-per-views. I was checking out the replay of it, and so that whole thing of like, you have the truss rod going across with that. So that's the camera angles that we're looking out for. Just put it in my perspective of what I'm looking for in this.
how gameplay hits different?
In WWE 2K22, we have a completely new animation system. This system has allowed us to greatly improve the look and the feel of the characters. Basically, everything from the way the characters move and they traverse through the world to how they align with each other during attacks has been completely overhauled. And
It's very similar animations.
Players are going to notice a significant difference the moment they pick up the controller. The characters are
Okay, that
way more
looks a little
responsive
newer.
than they've ever been.
With that
You no longer
Hurricane.
feel like you're fighting to control your character to get them into position to do what you want them to do.
Okay.
Strikes, dives, springboards, they all connect more precisely.
Good.
And that's also something that we really struggled with and took to heart
so.
and tried to resolve this year. Another key change that we've made to the game engine this year is our physics system. While the series has always had Havoc to some degree, it was primarily used for only hair and cloth simulation. For 2K22, we've completely integrated Havoc into gameplay, which has allowed us to introduce things like breakable props. The kendo stick starts to fray the more you use it.
Cool.
Tables, they break more dynamically. The chair even breaks. And even elements within the environment itself are now dynamically breaking, such as like the corner barricade, instead of relying on a canned sequence animation.
Wow, dynamic.
It's a really big change.
That's cool.
And has helped to make the entire gameplay feel more dynamic.
Awesome. Derek,
the foot missed the rope right there.
So for me, when we sat down to figure out how we were going to change gameplay for 2K22, one of the biggest things that we put as a priority was making sure the game is fun in a pick up and play kind of way. I want to be able to hand the controller to my friend who doesn't know anything about WWE, and I want them to still be able to have a good time and be able to just kind of hop in with me. So we made sure that with our controls redesign, all of the core actions are something you can discover just by button mashing. You should be able to basically play through a match without having known anything beforehand. But another big priority for us with that is making sure we're not, smoothing over a lot of the details that returning fans like. So all of the high level of control that you expect to have with your character, all of the high degree of customization you expect, all of that still remains.
That looked way better.
Okay, so you mentioned new controls and mechanics. Combat itself is centered around 3 inputs.
Okay, this is what I'm most weary about, because there's a reason why the control scheme is so from somebody who has played over a decade of these WWE games, to me, so there's so many different moves, so many different spots that you can start, doing moves from. You don't just have punches and kicks. You can do turnbuckle stuff. You can do rope stuff. You can, you hard grapple to a lighter grapple. If I want to just chain wrestle to start the match out with, go bring them down to the ground, rest, and do a little bit of, a couple of holds on the ground, and then all of a sudden they reverse and we're standing back up again. Like, you had that match flow in the old system, in all these different systems that they come out with. So if they can keep that going, but it makes it more simple, which I don't know how they're going to do that. So this is what we're going to hear and find out if they succeed or not. That's one of those things of oh no, don't take away options, because we have a ton of options of how we want the match flow to go. Do we want to just go and start brawling? Do we want to chain wrestle down to the mat? That is one of the most, it's how you build up the story of the match. And that's one of those biggest, it's super important to have that in there, because then not every match feels the same. Because if it just comes down to bang, 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 smack, bang, 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 smack, like Def Jam back in the day, I loved those games, but they turned into a lot of the same stuff. It's because the way it was trying to be more arcade than it was a wrestling game. So that's what I'm I'm wondering how they're going to do this. Okay, let's
light attacks, heavy attacks, and grapples. So in this cycle specifically, what do those terms mean?
So light attacks, those are your quick strikes, the fastest attacks in the game. Heavy attacks, those are kind of like strong strikes from previous years. They're bigger, slower strikes, but they deal more damage.
So heavy attacks, instead of holding the button to do it, then we have one button press to do it. Okay, but the thing is, do we have as many attacks to do though? I guess we could. Yeah, if you hold the different directions, you're going to get the different attacks. Okay, that would probably make sense.
And then finally, grapples. Those are where some of the bigger changes come into play. So you press the grapple button once to lock up with your opponent, but then from there you can press light, you can press heavy. Those will do your light and heavy grapples. But
okay, that's actually really cool. That's a welcome feature. Although I will probably try and flip this B and maybe, yeah, probably B and A. I'll probably try and flip those, because I'm used to the grapple button being on the A. That doesn't make any sense putting that on the B. Every year before we were doing analog stick stuff and everything, it was always on A. So I think the muscle memory would just be flip those two.
there's all sorts of other options. Irish whips, drag, carry, all of those things come from the grapple state. So once you grapple your opponent, you have a lot of possibilities opened up to you.
Okay, and I want to toss this over to Jonathan too. So opening up these possibilities, can you talk about some of the combo options that players can dive into?
Yeah, sure.
Super
I
important.
love how simple and engaging our new dynamic combo system feels. I don't need to memorize every superstar's moveset, but instead I practice the timing of my inputs in order to execute combos. Light attacks allow me to branch into a
Okay.
combo, and when I learn that light, heavy grab executes that move, I can take that and apply it to anybody I play with. I love the exploration that our game provides to encourage the user to play with many different superstars and then choose whichever one is better suited for.
Okay, so that right there is telling me as being like 5-6 years heavy into regular 1v1 fighting games like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and stuff like that. That is really reminding me of like, so if you go into again, I'm sorry for pausing the video so many times, but I feel like I can explain some of this stuff for people that play other genres outside just sim stuff. Or if you never played sim stuff, and you play regular fighting games. So if you're a regular fighting game player, you're going to feel a little bit more at home with that combo system. It's like if you go in, it's like, okay, how do I do the specific 3 or 4 hit string combo? So then you're going into that move list and finding, okay, it's light heavy into quarter circle, into a fireball motion basically. Or as in fighting game terms, it'd be like 1-1-1-2 fireball motion into another grab or something. But usually after fireball, you can't do anything. That's an ender. But yeah, it seems like we're getting a little bit of that logic thrown into there. That could be really cool to play around with. That's going to help out button mashing, which to me is like a big red flag for online, because then people are just going to try and button mash and have it. But if we can reverse that stuff easily, that's my next question. What's the reversal system looking like?
Them. And if you don't like the combos that we assign, we also support customizing combos. I'm personally really excited to see what cool combos our community creates.
Yes.
Okay, very quickly, I want to take it
Freedom
back
of
to one
choice for
point that
players.
Derek touched on earlier, which was about the accessibility of this game and being able to just pick it up and play. And I want to call this out mainly because I myself am a much newer player to WWE 2K. So for me, picking up and playing has been the whole experience.
Oh boy.
The controls are super easy to learn. And while my own habits fall back on button mashing the controller, even though we have that, I enjoy having to be very strategic and
that
intentional
kick out is brand
about
new.
how
You're gonna have to destroy your controller
game,
to kick
especially
out.
when it comes to the timing of things like reversals or finishers. So
all right, quick editor side note. There has been confirmation from the WWE 2K development team that the button mashing mechanics can be switched over to the older, basically just time press to be able to kick out of situations. So if you are, worrying about accessibility and button mashing and that you won't be able to do that, there is other options built into the game. This was information given to 2K Next Makers. I'm not a part of that. They didn't accept me into the program, so that's one of those things that you can see on Twitter.
So I can definitely attest to, hey, if you're feeling intimidated by this, please don't. Pick it up, try it out. You'll have such a blast. But also, if you're a vet,
give us a demo. Give us a demo. Just give us one match demo so you can actually get your hands on and feel not just so somebody's watching this, but they can get actually hands on and feel the power that you have in the ring. Give us a demo.
I've been playing this for a long time. Can y'all talk about how vets can better show off their moves and what that means for the overall strategy of their experience?
That was cool.
So a lot of the strategy
that
for our
really
game
cool.
comes with the new defensive options that we've added this year. So one of the biggest examples
Swing
is
into
breakers.
grab.
Instead of reversals being the only tool for countering your opponent's attacks, grapples and combos actually don't use reversals. Instead, you counter them with a breaker. So when you're doing a grapple or a combo on your opponent, they can counter that attack by pressing the same light, heavy, or grapple input against you. So those moves are...
Oh, no. Okay. That's more complex than what you had before. So there's going to be a little bit more of a tic-tac-toe or chess game going on. Did I say tic-tac-toe? I meant not tic-tac-toe. What the hell is the other one? The checkers or chess game going on here. So if somebody is really button mashing, that feels like actually more, it feels like Killer Instinct. 2013's Killer Instinct, that sounds identical too. So it's you have to figure out whether or not to combo break the lights or the heavies, and that system is very hard for people to figure out. Taken from somebody who's played a lot of Killer Instinct. If somebody doesn't know the combo strings of what looks like a light and heavy, that's way harder to do.
Countered with breakers, everything else is countered with a reversal. So knowing what kind of attack you expect your opponent to perform can already prime you to know how you want to counter it.
That's hard.
So there's already a mind game with that level.
That is wicked hard.
And you have blocking, which is all new. If you hold down the reversal button, you enter a blocking stance, and that lets you withstand light, heavy, and running attacks.
That's cool.
And then you can counterattack faster than your opponent can after blocking.
Nice.
You can also dodge with
Parry
the right
mechanics.
buffer. So you
That's
can
cool.
kind of choose a direction and get out of the way really quickly if you time your dodge correctly. But it's higher risk than a block. And then,
okay, so that's some like UFC feel and stuff right there. We'll see how that actually feels in the game. Like, that's something that I can't say whether it's going to be good or bad, because it all depends on the feel of it when you're actually doing it, and when you're in that moment of combat. There is some good, there's some bad here though. So I will definitely say they are doing some stuff like this. This light and heavy reversal stuff is going to be a pain in the ass to try and figure out. But this, the Y button to hold up and to not take so many hits, that's actually really cool. That's something that I was hoping they would bring in. So some good, some bad.
When you're on the ground, you also can button mash to get up faster, or you can press right bumper to do a quick get up at the cost of some resource. So when you have all of those defensive options available to you, it makes when you're on defense, it's a lot more strategic, but also when you're on offense, you have to be careful with how you want to attack your opponent.
Okay, the quick get up, really quickly, that is going to go great with ladder matches and Hell in a Cell matches, because goddamn, you get screwed over by the AI if they can slap you with a move real quick and they whoop up the ladder, or especially if you're playing online too. I can just imagine that. I don't play too much online because I never find the online to be fun to do. But if you get dropped off from a ladder, if you have the resources, boom, you can pop back up, and you're not sitting there for 5 minutes wait. Just, they're taking my championship or the Money in the Bank or something. Oh, that's great. Yeah, okay, I can't do anything. I'm sitting here. Oh no, they won the match. Oh yay! And my dude's still over here going. So if I can do a quick get up, nice.
So that they don't counter you.
So our community has been speculating about the HUD and like guessing like what these little glowing meters mean and all this stuff. Jonathan, I'm gonna let you be the first to break this down.
Good.
Break the news.
A stun meter?
Let's dive into the HUD and give the community some clarity here.
So our goal was to create a HUD that strips down all unnecessary aspects and simply gives the user the information that they need without distracting the user from the in-game action. So at the very top, you'll have the vitality meter, and this is basically your health. Below that...
my camera's in the way. My camera's totally in the way. All right, let me put myself up here. Okay, so vitality meter, that's going to be your health meter. Special meter is going to be for... They were just... Okay, sorry. I'm going to... Hold on. Let me just rewind this just a tiny bit.
Vitality meter, and this is basically your health bar. Below that, you'll find a special meter, which is a resource you want to spend to perform signatures, paybacks, or defensive actions. Finally, at the bottom is your finisher meter, where you can store up to 3 stocks.
Okay.
So there's one thing that's missing that I think a lot of people are like, where's the reverse stock? Can you talk a little bit more about the changes we made there?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, obviously the biggest change that we made was removing the reversal stock from the HUD. We felt that 2K20's matches came down to how the users manage their reversal stock. We wanted to bring a bit more skill to a match by giving the users unlimited reversals, but making them a little bit more difficult to execute. In our internal matches of 2K22, we get wild swings and back and forth and a bunch of so close moments that we really feel make the match memorable. And in addition to that, we added a new stun meter that shows up on the characters when it's close to being filled. So we're really excited to show off our new HUD and for our users to play with all of the new additions and our streamlined approach.
Cool. Like one of the things that, at the end of the match where I'm like, in previous years or, iterations, once you basically knew once your opponent didn't have any reversal stock,
that camera angle,
all you had to do was hit your Sega finisher, match was over. That's not the case anymore, right? Like someone can just pull out like a reversal and this back and forth. And so Derek, can you talk about the how strategy is incorporated into that part of this new mechanic?
Yeah, so with reversals no longer being on a limit, that
wow.
opens up a lot of possibilities for how your opponent can counter you, right? Like they could always pull a reversal out, or if you're using combos and grapples, they could hit you with a breaker. But the stun meter that Jonathan mentioned earlier, that's one of your biggest tools for making sure that you can pull off your biggest moves without getting countered. So lighter attacks, while they don't do as much damage to the vitality of the opponent, they're better at filling your opponent's stun. And if you can get their stun meter filled, that's your opportunity to perform an attack without the risk of getting a reversal or a breaker.
Button mashing is back, y'all. Like, I love it. It creates a whole new level of like intensity in those tight matches. And like I gotta practice my finger strength on that just so I can beat everyone.
I hate to say it, but if you have like weak wrists or whatever, there's so I know a few people that are content creators that they say that they cannot play fighting games because if they start mashing a lot for fighting games, their wrists start burning, which I had the same thing. That's the reason why I use a fight stick for certain fighting games, that there's a lot of inputs going on. And that's one of those things where I'm like, button mashing is going to turn a lot of people off. Combo breakers are cool. Not having reversals. That reversal limit was the dumbest thing that they added into the game, and I will stand by that and say 100%. I never liked the reversal. I always turn it off. Always turn that reversal limit thing off, because when you're actually watching the real match, people are tired, but they will still reverse, and that is when you have a really good match going on. Is all the reversals, all the mind games that start happening. I know your move, you know my move. That's the greatest matches ever, is when two wrestler superstars, whatever you want to call them, in that ring knows each other so well, and they can reverse everything that the other one's doing. Who's going to screw up first? Who's going to get caught first? Who's going to get their big finisher in first? And is that finisher even going to work, or is it going to get reversed? And that's what that psychology in the ring, as like Triple H and everybody in NXT always talks about. You got to have that, the cerebral assassin in there in that ring, or you're not going to get through, and get that victory. So hearing that the reversals are gone, the reversal limits are gone, that's great. I love it.
When this game goes online.
Cool. 3.
All right, y'all. We can go on and on, but unfortunately, we're out of time. So to close out, now that we're nearing the end of production, what are y'all looking forward to most for the game, whether for your own experience or with players specifically? Let's start with Jason, then Derek, then John.
Overall, this looks really good. That new Raw arena too.
Seeing how My Rise turns out. We've been working so hard on gameplay that haven't really been able to look at the rest of the game. Those guys have been really working to deliver an awesome story this year, and from everything I've seen, they're ready to deliver.
You two, get in the ring.
For me, it's the backstage.
Beth and Sean.
The redesigned backstage that I think people have only seen a small peek of.
Okay.
There's a lot of really cool stuff going back there, especially with the verticality.
That's awesome.
And for me, I'm super excited to see Rey Mysterio in our showcase mode, playing some classic matches that were recreated for WWE 2K20.
The frame rate's a little stuttery.
Really excited about that.
My
Awesome.
God, like this is why I was like, whoa.
Thank you so much for joining us for the first.
I mean, look at that.
Report.
Look at, hold on.
I think people are going to be really classic matches that were recreated for
Look how good that looks. The camera angle is spot on and everything.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us for the first ringside report ever for this cycle.
Messed up. You didn't even ask me, Christina, like what I'm looking forward to. That's just messed up. It's gonna leave me out.
We'll take it back. We'll take it back. All right, rewind. Lionel, what are you most excited for?
It's everything, right? Like,
Short answer.
I've
Everything.
been fortunate enough to like have my hand in every single cookie jar, and
Let me put myself back down
as
there.
you can tell, like this COVID weight ain't going away anytime soon. But yeah, like it's seeing what we're doing on the gameplay side and how that bleeds into universe and how it bleeds into my rise and my GM, my faction. Like
GM's going to be interesting. That's I was like, why bring in a GM? But there's a co-op mode in there, which I'm like,
I'm just super excited for everyone.
Okay, we might be able to do something with co-op mode
and just have fun. Like again, like just practice now. Practice your thumb strength.
I don't like button mashing. It breaks controllers. Where's your controller?
Thumb exercises.
Y'all, so that wraps it for our first ringside report. Thank you to Jason Vandiver, Derek Donahue, and Jonathan Rivera for joining us.
Combo breakers. That's actually really cool.
Thank you for having us.
Oh my God.
Combo breaker.
No, I think that was.
Okay, so once again, for real this time, thank you to Jason, Derek, and Jonathan for joining us. And thank you to all of you, the player community, for tuning in for our first ringside report. We are so excited to release this game, and we can't wait for y'all to get your hands on it.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. And thank you all for tuning in. We will talk to you all soon. And in the meantime, check us out on social media at WWE Games.
Okay, bye.
Peace.
All right. Yeah, there's a lot of good going on right there, and it just reiterates the fact that Ukes kind of screwed him over by running away and doing other projects and everything. I will actually double down and say that they are making some really big strides on their own to make this one of the best WWE games. It's looking like that, anyways. Who knows, when we get in our hands, it might be a broken mess. We don't know until we actually get hands on with ourselves, and it comes out next month, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. We have combo breakers in there, and we also have the kind of UFC-ish, fight night style kind of, hunker up, and you could really make yourself like a full-on boxer, like a Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler. Man, if you want to make like a Mike Tyson in the game or something and relive the DX days and all that stuff, like you're gonna actually have abilities to do a lot of the real life sim fighter type of stuff going on there, and that could really go into like like my James Lewis character that I do in WWE games. In the lore of the James Lewis character, if you go and check out the rest of the YouTube channel, you'll see he has done some UFC, he's done some boxing. So I can actually incorporate that of lore into my character in this game. That's really, really cool. And that's one of those things that I've tried and kind of struggled with in the past. So we'll see how all this works. But anyways, oh my God, this is a 30-minute video. Wow. But this is like a huge deep dive into the gameplay mechanics, and that's what you get with WWE games. Giant gameplay mechanics. This isn't even going into the character suite or the arena building or the GM mode or the possible online stuff that might be kind of cool. We'll see as we go forward. I guess they're going to be doing more of these reports, so I'll be there, and these are going to be very long videos, I feel. So yeah, there's a lot to deep dive into on all of these. This is looking really great though. So yeah, I would love to see a demo though. I would love to see a demo just so we can get like even one match just to be able to jump in and try it out and get hands-on with a demo format, especially right now because they are rebuilding back the trust with the community of can they make a really solid wrestling experience in the ring. Again, I just hope this doesn't go too arcade because I am really a big, like the selling point for me is it's a sim. Like I can jump into the virtual ring and do what I can't do in real life. That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah. Anyways, really cool in there too, seeing Shawn Michaels and Beth Phoenix. I'm pretty sure that was in there for doing the trainers stuff in NXT. That's awesome. I wonder if we'll see like Undertaker. I was going to say Mark Calloway, but yeah, Undertaker. I wonder if we're going to see him and whatnot in there. That'd be a trip right there. Also Triple H. So anyways, go check out the rest of the channel for all kinds of new stuff coming up. I am working behind the scenes like crazy. We also have a state of play coming up very soon today that I will be live streaming, and we'll have that up on the channel too. So go check out. It's a state of play for Gran Turismo 7. I'm not fully sold on it, but we'll see. It's looking interesting. I'm gonna check it out anyways, and we'll also do a probably live stream for Gran Turismo 7. So if you're into simulation stuff, there should be some stuff up on the channel very soon of driving, racing stuff. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by, and as always, I will see ya next time.